Monday, March 31st, here on the Just Baseball Show. That's Arm Layden. I'm Peter Apple, and the reason I'm smiling for all the people on YouTube, the weekend roundup is back. Arm's even doing the fingers. We're going to go over every single game from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Luckily, Arm and Jack already went over all the opening day games, so we have a normal weekend like usual. And it is all brought to us by the sportsbook born in Vegas, and that is BetMGM. A lot of our fans who listen to the show have taken advantage of code JUSTBASEBALL. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first wager loses. Maybe somebody used it on my Angels -1.5 wager where they won 1-0 and didn't cover the run line. You would have gotten it all back up to $1,500 in bonus bets. But remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. Aram, before we begin the weekend roundup, I'd like to address the elephant in the room. That elephant in the room is the fact that two of my best friends in the world, Jack McMarlin and Aram Lemarlin, both think that I'm a toothless, double-digit IQ'd moron who can't pronounce names of the players. And to be honest with you, I wanted to come to you angrily and say, no, I don't say that. I don't say that. Unfortunately, you cooked on two of them. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm an honest man. Michael Toglia, I absolutely use the G. It is wrong. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I say Haseong Kim. I don't know.
It's so
I
like
know. I got to be better at that. The one thing that I can hang on, and I texted you guys about this too, I do not say Zach Geloff. I say Zach Geloff. I know I do. I had to even go back and check, and I was like, I know I do. I say Geloff. So that was one that was a little bit mean and
no, that was too
uncalled for.
far. That was too far. You're 100% right.
So my goal in this weekend roundup, because there's a lot of names we're going to go over, is to get them all correctly.
Oh,
If BetMGM were making a line for that though, to get all names correctly is going to be plus 400. I get
it's plus
excited.
plus 400 in the first week of the season where some relievers popped up that we haven't talked about or whatever. The plus 400 is a good line for you to be able to. And if you catch Peter mispronouncing anything, please tip us off at the hotline, which is the YouTube comments, and let us know.
And while you're down there, at least hit the subscribe button. Comment, like, all that good stuff. And for all those listening on audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the best way to support without spending a dime is to rate, review 5 stars. Again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Let's get straight into it. And we're going to start with the series that not only blew up social media, but blew up the scoreboard. Yankees versus Brewers. We're going to start Saturday, game 2. Yankees win 20-9. Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge, back to back to back, all on the first pitch to start the game. 2 batters later, Austin Wells homers to make it 4 in the first inning. In the top of the second, though, the Brewers answer with RBI singles from Vinny Capra. Am I off
Who?
to a decent start?
Yeah, yeah, you nailed Capra.
Okay. Fielder's choice were Bryce Terang and Christian Yelich, who reached on a throwing error by Max Fried. Bottom of the second, Anthony Volpe answers with a 3-run home run. Bottom of the third, Cody Bellinger starts the scoring with an RBI single. Then Aaron Judge hits his second home run of the day, this time a grand slam. Jazz Chisholm follows that up with a home run of his own. We now have 7 home runs in 3 innings for all those counting at home. We have to remember the record is 10 in one game, and the Brewers answer back, but Aaron Judge homers again, his third time in 4 innings. Both teams are going back and forth. Bryce Terang homers in the ninth, but the final score, 20-9. Nestor Cortez Jr. got destroyed. He just
Yeah.
did not look good, and it was sad. As a Yankee fan myself, I love Nestor. One of the best guests that we've ever had on the podcast, one of the nicest guys ever. A really good Yankee. Yankee fans are going to remember the home run that he allowed to Freddie Freeman in the playoffs, but we all know as Yankee fans, it should have been Tim Hill anyway.
Yeah.
So that one was really tough, even though obviously I'm really excited about the Yankees scoring 20 runs off Nestor. It wasn't my favorite. Moved to game 3 where the Yankees again just went ballistic, winning 12-3. Sal Frelick for the Brewers opened the scoring with an RBI single. Again, home run for 3 straight innings from the Yankees. Judge is fourth of the year, then Ben Rice, then Jazz Chisholm. Old Yankee, Jake Bauers answers with a 2-run home run of his own to shorten the deficit to 5-3 for Milwaukee. But then the Yankees had 2 runs in the sixth, one in a wild pitch, the other on an Austin Wells groundout. Seventh inning, they blow it open with RBIs from Goldschmidt and Bellinger. Then Jazz hits his second home run of the game to give them a 12-3 win. Savali was dreadful. Stroman honestly wasn't all that better. Yankees sweep the series and tie the 2006 Tigers for most home runs in the first 3 games of a season with 15. Judge is the first Yankee in franchise history with 4 home runs in his first 3 games. And all anybody can talk about is these stupid bats.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there. Judge isn't even using it. It's
Not even
and
using it.
and also the optical illusion side of it doesn't help, where it does really look like the barrels are bigger. And I had a bunch of people who make bats and work in the bat industry responding to my tweet, which was great because I was like, at risk of sounding extremely ignorant, why has nobody thought of this? If it's just this obvious advantage, it's not. It's at making an adjustment to the barrel for the very few hitters that seem to hit the ball closer to the label consistently. And I think it's just a weird coincidence that the Yankees have a couple of those guys. So they are leaning into that a little bit more. But it has nothing to do with the Yankees, or maybe very little to do with the Yankees barrage. Maybe it helped a couple guys like Jazz or Bellinger or Volpe who did swing it well, but it had nothing to do with Judge hitting 80,000 home runs. And I think it was just something that became more of a story because of the timing of the Yankees barrage. It shouldn't be the story. The story should be that Aaron Judge is off to as incredible of a start as you can see. And I, I hope we have another 60 plus chase again. That's baseball's better when we're doing that and we're keeping track of home runs, whether it be Ohtani, whether it be Judge. And I mean, shit, we're off to a really good start in that regard.
There was a certain fan base that wasn't making a lot of noise when it comes to the Yankees bats. And I was like, Mets fans, why not? Francisco Lindor was using the bat and he went 0 for 11 to start the year.
Dude,
Um,
a lot of hitters don't like. I was talking to some guys about it. A lot of hitters don't like the feel distribution wise. It actually hurts them more than it helps them. That's why all the Yankees aren't using it. If it was this obvious advantage, Judge would be using it too. Everyone would be using it. It's not an obvious advantage. It's just a different feel. Just like any other bat when you were a kid that you were feeling and trying to say, this one feels a little bit more top heavy. This one feels that. It's a little bit more extreme, but yeah, I mean, if it was an obvious advantage, would be done a long time ago, and much more people would be doing it right now.
I'll give you another example. Ryan Jeffers for the Minnesota Twins. He had 8 at bats this weekend. How many hits do you think he had?
One.
One,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it's I couldn't add anything that you just already said. I
Yeah.
mean, it's perfectly said. It is something to potentially help out some hitters, but not all hitters. And that's
Yeah.
why it'll be widely adopted throughout the league. It already is for certain guys. The Yankees are not cheating because of their using this certain bat, and that's why they put up the most runs I've ever seen in an
It's
opening
it's
weekend.
it's because Connor Thomas stayed in the game for 5 innings.
Yeah,
It has nothing to
thank
do
you.
with illegal bats,
That's
dude.
what I was gonna say. The Brewers were throwing out just randoms in the end. No wonder there were so many home runs.
Like,
And we saw what Nestor looked like. We saw what Savali looked like. I don't even think Brewers fans are surprised they put up that many
no.
runs against those type of pitchers in these types of games right now.
I mean, I'll tell you what. That is as rough of a pitching start as you could possibly have for a team that is always going to be pitching centric. Doesn't matter how good your bullpen is if your starter gives up 5 bombs. So that's something that's going to need to get right. I have confidence that Nestor will figure it out, and as long as he's healthy and be able to settle in. But Savali, I'm just interested to see how he follows up with his next start. It's just the first
Yeah.
series, so it's not a big deal, but not the way you would expect the Brewers to start the season if you're the Yankees with all of the frustration and injuries, and you started Pablo Reyes at third base. To start the season the way that they have, I think is absolutely huge.
The only hitter in that lineup not off to a hot start is Jason Dominguez. And it's obviously the first 3 games. So
Now he's
why
cooked.
Will I have any real takeaways from that? All right, let's move on to Orioles versus Blue Jays. We're going to start game 2 on Friday. Blue Jays win 8-2, but Jackson Holliday of the Orioles starts the scoring with a home run in the third. Then the Orioles add another run in the fourth, courtesy of a Tyler O'Neill sac fly. Then the Blue Jays just break it open in the bottom half, load the bases, score the first on a bases loaded walk to Nathan Lukes. Did I do that correctly?
Lucas.
Lucas. Damn it.
Lucas. But that's a tough one.
As
Honestly,
soon as I said it, I knew it because I was
that's
watching the game and I knew it was Lucas, and then I read on my notes Luke's, and I'm like, I knew I missed it.
it's okay. That was a recovery, and that's a weird one.
Can I have a mulligan? It's like when
That's a
you start.
you can get a breakfast ball on that one.
It's like 8 a.m. I shot
Yeah,
one into the woods. Give me another one. Give me another
breakfast
one.
ball.
So the line has not hit yet for all those tailing on BetMGM. Alan Roden hit a sac fly to score the second. Wild pitch by Albert Suarez scores Will Wagner. Vladdy sac fly for the fourth run, and then Anthony Santander adds the fifth with an RBI single. Blue Jays had two more on RBIs from Bo Bichette and Ernie Clement. Gosman looked great. Six
Yeah,
innings, 2 runs, and Charlie Morton got destroyed.
starting to think that he may not be a great rotation piece this year.
But it's early.
Yeah,
Maybe as he develops.
yeah, he's
41.
41. The way he finished last year, we'll see. Hopefully he can settle in. He gets hot and he has his stretches. Hopefully he does that. Really encouraging to see Gosman
Yeah.
just looking good, especially with the slow start last year, being banged up. Like you love that. And every single guy in that Blue Jays lineup had a hit, except for Roden, who had that sacrifice fly. So like, I mean, that's what you want to see from the Jays. Like it was cool to see them after rough first game, like swinging it top to bottom in that lineup. Noted cleanup hitter Andres Jimenez continuing to swing the bat pretty well.
Noted cleanup hitter Andres Jimenez. It's funny enough, some power from Andres Jimenez in this next game. We'll move to game 3 on Saturday. Orioles win 8-5. Orioles started the scoring early with home runs from Colton Cowser and Jordan Westberg, but then the Blue Jays answer in the first with RBIs from Santander and Alejandro Kirk. Andres Jimenez homers in the third to give the Blue Jays a 4-2 lead, but then the Orioles came right back around, highlighted by a 3-run double by Ramon Urias. Heston Kjerstad, Cedric Mullins collect RBIs in the fifth to give Baltimore some breathing room, and then Jordan Westberg hit his second home run of the day in the ninth, and the Orioles win. Now, Dean Kramer wasn't very good, and unfortunately, Max Scherzer left the game after 3 innings with lat tightness. My Cy Young long shot at 100-1 is now moved to 10,001, unfortunately.
And he looked all right out of the
Yeah.
game. I know he had given up the 2 home runs, but I think he said his thumb was bothering him, and that affects his lat. And whatever. I mean, I'll trust whatever he tells me about a pitcher. So he's very in tune with his body. Hopefully, it was just more precautionary. But it's kind of hard to win a ball game when your starter, is out after 3, and that was the problem. When Lovelady came in, it was 4 earned from there, and it's just hard to climb back in a game like that. But they still swung it, and then the bats are waking up still a little bit, I think, for Toronto. But Baltimore's going to slug this year, dude. Like I think there's no doubt about that.
In the first 3 games of the series, all offense, not so much in game 4. Blue Jays win 3-1 to even the series. The scoring started on a wild pitch by Chris Bassett that scored Ryan O'Hearn. George Springer answers in the bottom of the first with an RBI single. Then Tyler Heineman is the deciding factor with a huge 2-run home run in the bottom of the seventh to give the Blue Jays the win. Tomoyoki Sagano threw 4 innings, allowed 2 runs, and then left after cramping. I was getting tagged in some posts saying Peter could definitely go 2 for 4 with a double against this guy. I will take that. And Chris Bassett was typical Chris Bassett, working his way out of trouble.
They're scattering 8 hits.
8 hits, 1 earned, 7 strikeouts over 6 innings. Again, series split. So for all the Blue Jays hate, especially after a 12-2 loss on opening day, I even made a tier list where I had some of the categories where just Blue Jays suck. Hand up. That's on me, Blue Jays fans. You guys came back, you battled, and you split a series with a good Orioles team, clearly. So Blue Jays fans have to be excited, but also Orioles fans should be excited of how good the offense looks so early.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get a multi-homer game from Adley, you get a multi-homer game from Westberg. Like you gotta love that. I will say though, it's just to see Yariel Rodriguez with the stuff looking sharper after a rough first outing, and Hoffman's got to be so refreshing for Blue Jays fans, just nailing it down and just having like a true, I think, lockdown closer here. That's got to be really nice after dealing with Jordan Romano last year.
Also, for all those watching on YouTube, you can see me typing into my computer. I just want to look at what Will Wagner's stats are this year. So he's hitting 308, 770 OPS so far. We'll be tracking that with some Junior Caminero bets. We'll see what happens. All right, let's move on to the Phillies versus the Nationals. Game 2, Phillies win 11-6. Kyber Ruiz and Bryson Stott trade homers in the second and fourth. Is it Keibert or Kyber?
I think it's you might have me there.
We need
I go
tag on
both
here.
ways. I
I've
think it's
heard
I think it's Kybert Ruiz.
I've heard on the broadcast two different ways. Like
Yeah.
whether you're home or road, I've heard it two different ways.
I think it's Kybert Ruiz.
Kyber Ruiz. Phillies load the bases in the sixth. Edmundo Sosa walks, plating a run. Wild pitch scores another. Then Kyle Schwarber homers, making the score 7-2 Phillies. Ahmed Rosario and Brandon Marsh trade homers, but now it's 10-3 Phillies. Nate Lowe, though, battled, homering in the eighth, driving home another in the ninth, but it just wasn't enough. Both Irvin and Luzardo allowed 2 runs in 5 innings, but Luzardo looked much better, striking out 11. We love to see that arm,
Yeah.
dressed in Marlins gear right now.
I know. I'm happy for him because, like, again, there's been so many early examples of like, hey, spring training may not matter, especially for guys that have been doing it for a little bit. Jesus Luzardo didn't have the best spring in the world, and then you just see him come out here and miss bats like crazy. That's scary. If Jesus Luzardo's throwing like this, as we talked about, that rotation is terrifying.
I mean, they went Wheeler, Luzardo, Nola, and then they got Christopher Sanchez going game 4 against the Rockies. And on BetMGM right now, the Phillies are like minus 250 and just going to keep climbing. Let's go over to game 3. Nationals win 5-1, though. They salvage it. Josh Bell, 3-run shot to start the scoring. It's so funny. I'm watching MLB Big Inning, and I hear it. I was typing on my laptop, and I'm like, whoa, Josh Bell just went nuclear. Nate Lowe, again, keeps battling. Second home run of the year, a 2-run shot to give the Nationals a 5-0 lead, and that was basically it. Mitchell Parker shoved.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, he gave up 7
He
hits.
did a Chris Bassett.
He did a Chris Bassett, and we'll take Chris Bassett starts every day of the week. I mean, this Nationals rotation only allowed 2 earned runs in 17 innings. The bullpen was terrible, and there were some errors and some runs that weren't earned. But the starting pitching, Nationals fans have to be pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Of course, Phillies fans are plenty excited about what they got.
100%. And I mean, it was a really encouraging start from Parker against a good lineup. Dylan Cruz in the 8 hole already, and then he hat tricked.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not sounding the alarms. It's
I am.
early.
It's over.
It's
It's
done.
over.
0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts the day before, and then 0 for 3. So he's 0 for his last 8 with 8 strikeouts. Like that's tough. Guy, he's just getting. And what do we talk about? Like, he's going to get spun to death.
Yeah.
He's going to see sliders, and curveballs until he proves he can hit them. And I mean, it might be a rough stretch until he makes that adjustment. And it was 3 breaking balls that put away Cruz for those 3 Ks and this one too.
And Nola, I thought, looked good, except for those couple of home runs, which can happen in Aaron Nola starts. But I thought the command looked good. Like, if I'm a Phillies fan, you look at the box score for Nola, and you see 5 earned, and you're like, right, if you didn't catch the game. But I thought he looked much better than the box score would say.
I mean, he was through 5 1/3 with 3 earned, and then
He was
gave up
really on that Josh Bell mistake, though.
Yeah, and then that was a cutter, that was a ball up that Josh Bell got to, and then he again still threw 5 1/3 with only three earned, which isn't bad, and then it was a 3-2 pitch that Lowe took out. So like that's what's going to happen with Nola. 1 or 2 pitches can be the difference between a great start and an iffy one, and unfortunately it was the latter. But if you only score 1 run, you're not going to win a lot of games anyways.
Exactly, and it was clockwork for the Phillies, a series win. All right, let's move on to series number 4, Rockies versus Rays at George Steinbrenner Field. Before I get into it, it was so weird watching those games, I'm not going to lie.
Feels like COVID all over again, right? Like it's
I didn't
weird.
like it. I didn't like it
What
at
do you
all.
mean? Manfred said it's charming.
Yeah, charming. God.
I loved it. I think this was for the Jeff Passan piece, but it sums it up beautifully. Like, Charming is what a realtor calls a small house that they're trying to sell. Like that's that's what charming is. So, yeah, it's funny. But anyways, the series.
The series. All right. Rays win the game one on Friday, 3-2. They were one of, I think the Rays and the Rockies were the only team not to play on actual opening day. So this is their own opening day. And the Rockies built a 2-0 lead on RBIs from Ezekiel Tovar and Kyle Farmer. And then the Rays tied in the seventh on RBIs from Jonathan Aranda and Jose Caballero. Cam Meisner stepped up,
Yeah.
walks it off with a home run to right field to win the game for the Rays in their first game at George Steinbrenner Field. Ryan Pepio was excellent, 6 innings, 2 earned 8 Ks, but Kyle fucking Freeland was better. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned 7 Ks. Look at the man shoving outside of Coors.
On six, do I have this right? Was it 67 pitches? There's no way that's right. Is my thing glitching here?
I wasn't able to watch the game because Colby and I were in the plane heading back from Cincinnati to New York. But it was so funny. We were watching like the first 2 innings in the airport. Then we went on the plane and we landed, and I saw that the how the game went. That the Rays or the Rockies, excuse me, just completely blew it.
But I mean, shout out Freeland. Like
Yeah,
that's incredible. I need to confirm if my like app is bugging here and whether he threw no way he was that economical. Give me a few moments here, but anyway, you can continue and I'll come back with some of that info. But it's cool to see Pepio shoving.
yeah.
He's a huge X factor in that rotation. And also, by the way, Mason Montgomery is
Oh,
might be one of the best relievers in baseball by
they
the
did
time the
it again.
season's over.
They did it again.
I watched this guy in single A when I was covering the Ray system, sitting 91.5 as a starter. 91.5 miles per hour as a starter. He's sitting 99 to 100 now out of the bullpen with two, like, borderline 80 grade pitches.
Did I see 21 inches of vert on that fastball? Did I read that
Yeah.
correctly?
At like 99 to 100.
That's the best fastball in baseball right now.
It damn near might be. And this guy was throwing 91 a few years ago.
I mean, Hunter Green's fastball in person was diabolical.
I,
So it's a
it's
little
from the
bit
left
different when you
side,
got,
and it's a 1 inning spurt, but like,
yeah.
fuck, what are you doing with that? He might have one of the best. I think he may have the best reliever season this year. Like, I think he'll be up there with just about anybody. It's going to be crazy to watch.
Edwin Uceta and now Mason Montgomery. Let's go to game two. Rockies win 2-1 in a low scoring battle. Brenton Doyle started the scoring with an RBI single. Kyle Farmer did the same in the seventh. That's how long we went without runs. But then Taylor Wall's RBI single in the eighth, but it wasn't quite enough. Antonio Sensatella. We're saying Chris Bassett and Mitchell Parker had Bassett starts. No, no, no. All Antonio Sensatella outdid them. 4 1/3, 9 hits, 2 walks, no runs, no Ks.
That's real
Get out.
baseball.
That's real baseball right there. That's what Walter Johnson would be doing in today's age.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Zach
that's
Littell.
unreal. I love the Rockies, man. Like
Yeah.
that's just a fantastic stat line. Pitcher's duel. I don't care how you splice it up. That was a pitcher's duel. And shout out this underrated Rockies bullpen. Like they're putting up zeros.
Putting up zeros. Shout out Zach Littell. Also 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 strikeouts. We'll go to game three. Rays win 6-4. Brendan Lau opens the scoring with his first home run of the year, a 2-run shot. Then Nick Martini, Reds fans will know him well, closed the gap with an RBI single for Colorado. And then Hunter Goodman tied the game in the sixth with an RBI single. And then Junior Caminero, they said it was a single to score a run home, but that should have been an error. I don't know if you saw that play. Ezekiel Tovar just basically ran into the second baseman, and then, that just kind of opened the floodgates. The Rays put up 2 more RBIs from Jose Caballero and Ben Rortvedt, and new Rocky, #1 overall pick back in 2016, Mickey Moniak homers, but it wasn't enough. Ryan Feltner was good. Taj Bradley was better, striking out 7 in 6 innings while allowing just 2 runs. And the Rays win the series in their new stadium, 2-1.
Can confirm Kyle Freeland threw 67 pitches to get through 6 innings.
Unbelievable.
That's insane.
Is that the best start of his career? I mean, I guess he's got to
be
have
up there. Well, also, why didn't they just let him keep going? He could
I
have
don't
thrown
know.
12 innings.
They're trying to limit him for a postseason run.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You got to save him. Shout out Jake Mangum, Tampa Bay Rays. Guy has grinded his way through. He's, I think, like the all-time hits leader in college baseball, or at least Mississippi State. You could fact check me on that. But guy has been a grinder and has been deserving of an opportunity for a long time and finally got it. Over 430 minor league games before getting here, and he makes his debut at I think 29 years old. I just shout out Jake Mangum, pump for him, and wishing him success at the highest level.
I don't really have any other takeaways other than kind of what we talked about. The stadium I didn't love. Cam Meisner getting that walk-off home run. Kind of already talked about how important Pepiot's going to be.
I did Taj punching out
Yeah,
seven as well. Like
good.
I thought this series, I know it's the Rockies, but I thought this series overall, like it wasn't perfect from the Rays. But I think there was a lot of reminders of why they could be one of the more imposing staffs in baseball, especially if McClanahan is available. This bullpen is outrageous as always, and these starters they're deep. So I'm excited to see what this looks like over the course of the season.
Absolutely. Let's get to the fifth series on the slate. White Sox versus Angels, game 2 Saturday. Angels win 1-0. This is the bet that I lost. But shout out all the people in the Discord. 6-2 plus 3.49 units to start the season for me. We've all been cashing. So if you want to join the Discord, get in on my plays early, as soon as I place them. But also, if you're not even a bettor and you don't care about that, no worries. We got it all for you. MLB, minor league, fantasy, again, gambling, trading cards. What am I forgetting? College baseball, of course.
Yeah,
The
the
guys
draft.
the
All our
on the
draft
clock,
coverage is in there. It's been awesome.
the on the clock guys have been killing it. You've been killing it. Everybody's been killing it in the Discord, and it is just $10 a month to join. You can find the link in the episode description. Again, game 2, Angels win 1-0. The only scoring was a Yoan Moncada infield single to score Jorge Soler, but the only reason Jorge Soler even got to third base was a wild pitch. That's the most Angels White
That's
Sox.
the worst game of all time.
I was watching it. I was like, I felt like the bet was lost in the third inning when the Angels just left a million runners on base. But you know who didn't leave anybody on base? Jose Soriano. Dude
Yeah.
shoved. 7 innings, 2 hits, 5 Ks. It was groundouts, it was strikeouts. There was no real hard contact. This is a real pitcher. I think by the All-Star break, we're talking about Jose Soriano possibly being the Angels All-Star. I think this
Yeah.
guy, he's nasty. Pitched to a 2.45 ERA in the second half, bumped up the strikeout rate, had the third highest ground ball rate in baseball last year among qualified pitchers with at least like 110 innings. This guy, he's a really good pitcher, and the Angels got one.
Even more economical, I think, than Freeland.
Yeah,
73 pitches to get through 7 innings. I
yeah.
mean, just the 2 hits. It's just attacking hitters, getting them out early, not needing to strike out the world to be effective. I understand that he was facing Jacob Amaya and Matt Tice and some of these other guys. Which, by the way, Kyle Teal is raking in AAA.
Of course he is.
Several guys are swinging it really well. Chase Mydroth is swinging it well. I understand that there's going to be a very specific date when those guys probably end up getting called up, but like it's just so brutal watching some of these guys right now when you have some better options in AAA.
Also, shout out Jonathan Cannon. 5
Yeah.
shutout innings, 5 Ks. The thing is, I was watching it. Box score looks better than it was. The changeup that he's been developing over the offseason looked really good. But I mean, he was throwing 92-mile-an-hour fastballs down the middle, and you got the Angels freaking popping up against it. Like the reason I'm bringing this up is I don't know if Jonathan Cannon he's got a buy signal now. If you know what I'm saying, I got to wait it out. We're gonna see
Yeah,
with
no, I
Jonathan
hear that.
Cannon.
I
But
hear that, but
Sean
I will say,
Burke,
White
major
Sean
buy
Burke,
signal,
bye.
and in our next game, Davis Martin, major buy signal.
Yeah, they're throwing well.
They're throwing well, but the Angels won game 3. They win 3-2. Also, shout out the Angels. I'm not trying to take them apart because they did play well. I mean, relatively enough to win. Jorge Soler starts the scoring with a sac fly, and then Yoan Moncada got the second run home on a ground
Revenge
out.
series, just absolute revenge series.
Just RBI groundouts from Yoan Moncada. That's the type of revenge that he's bringing to the table. Bottom of the first, though, how about DH Nick Maton, the utility infielder, is their DH. First home run of the year. Matt Thaiss knocked home. Matt Thaiss?
Tice.
You're not even sure.
Tice. I think it's Matt
Thaiss.
Tice.
If you're not sure, then I don't get a loss on that one.
Okay, I think I
Okay.
do. I would go Matt Tice.
If Jack was on, he'd be rolling his eyes and he'd
Yeah.
say it in some perfect silhouette voice. I want to make fun of him, but all the calls he's making on the Marlins walk-offs are
They've
also
been good.
sick. How are we supposed to make fun of him?
They've been good. Also, they need to stop just like laying up just walk off
I
opportunities for
know.
him to nail. It's kind of getting annoying.
Do you think they're rigging it?
For Jack, I think so.
Yeah.
I do actually think so.
So at this point, it is 2-2, and for a while we got no runs and hours of rain delay. Then Kyron Paris homers in the eighth, his first to take a 3-2 lead, and that was it. Both Davis Martin, Jack Kohanowicz threw 6 innings while only allowing 2 runs. But Davis Martin looked good. Kohanowicz looked pretty good too. Angels win the series 2-1. Not a ton of takeaways here, other than the fact that the pitching on both sides. Again, the takeaway I want to say, oh, we should get really excited about these young rotations. The only issue is the lineups they were going up against were
Yeah,
horrible. So,
that's the thing.
but the stuff did look good. Like I want to give them credit, right?
No, these guys are
Soriano,
throwing
yeah.
pretty well, and they were thrown. Several of them were thrown pretty well in the spring, and I think these are guys that have definitely made some progress, and it's definitely going to be nice to see for both of these teams right now. But yeah, it's not quite the most difficult lineups in the world to face. I would say like Davis Martin though, going against he still had to get through Taylor Ward and Shanwell and Trout and Soler and Darno. Like that's solid. Whereas I mean. On the Angels side, I mean, you're getting through Luis Robert. Um, yeah, Luis Robert.
Luis
So
Roberts pretty good.
yeah, he's pretty good.
Miguel
So
Vargas
yeah,
is a player.
not a Vargas hater. I
Yeah.
think so. It's a little different, but you can only play what's in front of you, and the Angels did what they needed to do.
All right, before we move on to the rest of this series, we're going to take our first break. Next series up, Mets versus Astros. Game 2 was on Friday. The Mets win 3-1. Mets scored 2 early on a Mark Vientos RBI double and a Jesse Winker RBI single. And then Juan Soto extends the lead to 3-0 with his first home run as a Met. And the only Astros run was a Yordan sac fly in the fourth. Hunter Brown looked good. But I was really, really impressed with Tylor McGill. I mean, this is a guy that the Mets need. It's not like he had some crazy dominant outing, but the strikeout stuff was there. And the Mets have a good bullpen. If Tylor McGill can give them 5 innings a night, every fifth day, 1 to 2 runs, that's valuable. That's what they need. They need these type of guys. So to see McGill do that against this Astros offense, I think Mets fans should be excited. And then, of course, Astros fans should just expect Hunter Brown to be great.
Yeah. I mean, just averaging 97.5 on the fastball, like it looks real good. I shout out Luis Contreras in this Astros bullpen. They
Yeah.
spawned a demon there. He is nasty. So just a guy to look out for. The game was they were playing from behind at that point, but he put up a 0. I just wanted to shout him out. Crazy vert on his heater with good extension. But McGill, I think may end up becoming one of the more reliable arms they have. I think he's going to have a more consistent year than Senga. I think he's going to have a more consistent year than some of these other guys that they've got. And he's probably one of the more underrated arms. I understand he's been like banged up and hasn't strung it together just yet, but I think this is the year where he does that. But overall, no major takeaways other than good pitchers duel and McGill. I think really set the tone.
Game 3, Astros win in another low-scoring game, 2-1. Jeremy Pena opened the scoring with a home run in the fifth, and then the Mets tied it up on a Juan Soto groundout that scored Jose Siri. But then that bad man, Yordan Alvarez, broke the tie in the sixth with a double that scored Isaac Paredes, and that was it. Griffin Canning, all we need from you is 5 innings, 2 runs, and that's exactly what he gave the Mets. But again, to your point earlier, if you only score 1 run, you're not going to win many games. But how about my breakout pick, Spencer Arrighetti? How about it?
Yeah.
6 innings, only allowed 1 hit and 1 run, shoved. I mean, normally with Spencer Arrighetti, sometimes you see like these 6 inning, 11K no run performances, and then the next day it's like 3 innings, 9 hits, and 7 earned. But if he could just be consistent, right? You don't have to strike out the world. Just keep the ball in the zone. The stuff is good. Trust it. I thought he looked great. And again, if we're talking about an Astros rotation, you got Framber, you got Hunter Brown. Can Ronel Blanco take, continued steps to being a solid starter in this league? Is Spencer Arrighetti going to be the guy to step up? Arrighetti looked great.
Yep. He did. And I mean, the only hit you give up is a double to Juan Soto. You're probably doing something pretty well. And the bullpen did their job. From King to Abreu to Hader, which it's got to be really refreshing to just see Abreu and Hader get through those innings. They both walk somebody, but get through and pitch scoreless innings, each of them after a little bit of a rough first outing. I mean, this Astros team, they're going to pitch, man. They definitely, if these guys, the young guys are taking a leap, and Framber's Framber, they're going to put up a lot of zeros.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the next series. Talk about runs. The series was awesome. Cubs versus Dbacks. Game two
Hmm.
on Friday. The Dbacks win 8-1. This is a 4-game series, of course. Opening day, we covered that in the Friday episode. Cubs' only run came in the second to start the scoring, though, on a PCA RBI double. But then Geno Suarez just fucking took over. Hits a home run in the second to take a 2-1 lead, then homers again. Same result, 2-run home run in the fourth. Geraldo Perdomo also added an RBI single in the fifth. And then the D backs, they just kept piling on. RBIs from Pavin Smith, Josh Naylor, and Alec Thomas. Jameson Taillon got absolutely obliterated. And Merrill Kelly was solid, 1 run in 5 1/3. Let's move on to game three. Cubs win 4-3. Jake McCarthy starts the scoring with an RBI groundout. Cubs tie it on a Miguel Amaya RBI double. Kyle Tucker and Matt Shaw both add homers to take a 4-1 lead. And Geno Suarez is trying his best. Homers for the fourth time, but it wasn't quite enough. Brandon Pfaadt had a quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned. But the reason I wanted to move over to game two, Arm, Shota Imanaga, when he has his fastball, is like one of the best lefties in baseball. This guy, again, he started last season incredibly hot, right? I think he pitched to an ERA below 1 when we're looking at his starts in March and April, and he's off to the same type of start. So it seems with him, as long as he has the fastball and it's got that vert on it,
Oh yeah,
guys just don't touch shit. And
no,
he dominates. So the Cubs, at least early, have one of the best pitchers in the league. And if he can maintain this over an entire season, he's one of the best pitchers in the league.
oh yeah, he's the frontline guy if he's doing that, and having the splitter there off of it, because I feel like the fastball, like he's got that where it's so deceptive and gets so much ride from his release point. It's going to result in a lot of pop ups and swings and misses at the top. The splitter like would be inconsistent at points, but not start. He landed at first strike 22 out of 31 times.
Wow.
Like, good luck. And
Yeah.
he still mixes in the splitter or excuse me, the sweeper enough to where you got to think about it, respect it. But that fastball splitter combination is elite, and I think and they need Imanaga to be that guy. They need Steele to be consistently good. And I feel like they could get that. They're definitely gonna get it from Imanaga, but having that two-headed monster potentially, Imanaga and Steele, and two different types of ways of like creating deception, they could be really solid at the front of the rotation because I do have my concerns about it, but at least those guys can help carry them at the top.
And again, it was against this Diamondbacks offense that scored
Rakes.
eight in game two and 10 in game four. We'll start at Dansby Swanson homers, his first of the year to take a 1-0 lead in the second inning. Then Seiya Suzuki hit his first home run of the year, a 2-run shot. Cubs have a lead 3-0 after 6 innings. So you're like, Peter, how in the world did they score 10? I'll tell you how. Snakes fight back in the sixth and seventh with RBIs from Gabby Moreno and Alec Thomas. Kyle Tucker, though, crushed another home run, his second, to give the Cubs a 6-2 lead. But then here comes the mega rally. In the eighth inning, the Diamondbacks put up 8 runs. Geraldo Perdomo's double scored 2. Then Lordy Scurriel Jr. hit his first home run of the year to tie it at 6-6. Then Josh Naylor doubles to give the Snakes the lead. He's been huge in this series. He was great. Then, because the Diamondbacks had nobody left on their bench, Ryan Nelson, the pitcher, came in to hit. And what does he do? Delivered. RBI single. Could have scored 2, but the runner was thrown out at home. Per Sarah Langs, he is the first pitcher with a hit since the universal DH began back in 2022, and that's not counting Shohei Ohtani or position players as hitters, right? When position players come in
Yeah.
to pitch, not counting them. But it wasn't done yet. Alec Thomas and Corbin Carroll both drove in runs to take a 10-6 lead, and that was that. Matthew Boyd, I thought, looked pretty damn good, though. 5 inning shutout with 5 Ks. Eduardo Rodriguez was fine. 3 innings.
Shit, dude, I'll take that.
Yeah, 3 earned
I'll
in
take
five
that.
and a third. With that offense, you take that. But Cubs fans should be excited about Matthew Boyd, but what they shouldn't be excited about, Aram. The bullpen,
Bullpen's
the
ass.
bullpen's so bad again. How? It's so bad
I'm
again.
shocked.
I was excited about some of the guys like Porter
No,
Hodge, and I think he did fine, but like Eli Morgan is giving up hits to pitchers. I mean, they can't hold the lead, Arm. It's got to be a
the Nate
nightmare
Pearson
whenever.
experience. I don't
Yeah,
understand it. I don't understand. Dude, we went 1 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, no Ks.
he
If you
throws like
throw upper
100.
90s, what's the point?
Yeah,
I don't. There's a lot of things that Jed Hoyer does well. Assembling a bullpen has not been one of them, but it doesn't even seem like they try that hard.
yeah.
This is the biggest concern for me with this team. I agree with you. I think they can maybe piece together this rotation, and Boyd can be a sneaky, addition there. But man, like you got to win games where you score six, and they were in position to do that. And when you score 6 runs and your starter goes 5 shutout, you should win most of those games. And in this case, they didn't. And they lost by 4. Shout out Alec Thomas too, off to a great start to the year. If he is playing as like at an above average clip this year, if he's a 2-3 win player for them, I don't even know where he fits in. That's house money. They're the deepest team in baseball, not named the Dodgers, I think, if he's playing well too.
I want to go back to the Cubs bullpen for a second. And I know Cubs fans do not want to go back to the Cubs bullpen, but I want to pose you a question. And you probably don't know the answer, but I was thinking about this while watching these Cubs games. Why did they not sign Aroldis Chapman? Why
I
did
have
they
no
not
idea.
sign Kenley Jansen? I mean, Kenley Jansen is still getting the job done for the Angels. Why did you go get Ryan Presley, who hasn't even been the closer for the Astros during this peak? Like, I don't,
I don't
I
get
don't
it.
get
The
it.
only guy I trust is Porter Hodge right now, and like sometimes kind of Ryan Presley. I don't understand. It's not like Ryan Presley came for free. Like you're paying him. I don't get it.
And I'm
I
not
really.
even mentioning giving Tanner Scott 4 years 70 instead of the 4 years 68 that he got from LA.
Isn't
And,
David Robertson still out there? I would go
yep,
panic sign him right now.
right this minute. Why did they get Kirby Yates? Like, you can't tell me that guys don't want to play in Chicago. Like, there's
It's a
no
good
way.
team.
It's a good
It's a
team.
great offense.
They could win the division. You could be closing out games in the playoffs.
Yep.
Makes no
Yep.
sense to me. All right, let's move over to A's versus Mariners. A's win game 2 Friday 7-0. Brent Rooker started the scoring with his first home run of the year, a 2-run shot. I fucking love Brent Rooker. I love to see him go yard. Big rally in the 5th. A's plated 3 runs on RBI singles from JJ Bleday and Shea Langeliers and a ground rule double from Tyler Soderstrom. I'm going to ask you not to have a takeaway on him yet because he keeps hitting the whole series, and I want to talk about him after. Max Muncy, your long shot rookie of the year pick, hit his first hit of his career was a home run in the 8th. And
Yep.
Luis Arias added a home run to make the final score 7-0. Jeffrey Springs?
Hell yeah.
And I didn't mean to say that like it came out of nowhere. He was good for the Rays, but this was really good. Now, I know it's a T-Mobile, and I know it's against a Mariners offense that's not great, but still, 9 Ks, 6 shutty, 17 whiffs. We take that every day of the week, Arm.
He finished the year great last year as he got further removed from the TJ, and I really think he's getting underrated here. I think this was a great pickup, and he's off to a ridiculous start to the season.
And the A's just kept winning. They win 4-2 on Saturday. A Shea Langeliers throwing error, though, started the scoring for the Mariners because he was trying to catch Ryan Bliss stealing, which allowed Roddy Tellez to score the first run for Seattle. But Shea Langeliers, though, got that run back, and then some with a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Miguel Andujar and Brent Rooker added RBI singles, and Jorge Polanco's RBI single just wasn't quite enough. We'll move on to game 4. Mariners win 2-1. Tyler Soderstrom started the scoring again in the 4th with his 3rd home run of the year. We're only 4 games in, but J-Rod answered in the bottom of the 6th. 2-run jack, 438 feet. Peter Vision had it nearing 500 feet to take the lead. Brian Wu was a fucking dog. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts. Shout out everybody in the Discord with me. We all had Brian Wu under 4.5 hits. And I was even typing in the Discord arm. I was like, he's only at 76 pitches. I know we want him to come out to win the bet, but if I'm the Mariners, I'm putting him right back out there. But I understand wanting to limit his pitch count early because this is a guy who has struggled to stay on the field. But I wrote in my write-up, and I don't know if you agree or disagree, I think Wu could have the most talent in the Mariners rotation. Of course, Gilbert is such a dog.
That's
So like
why
that
I picked him
that
as a
take might
dark
not be
horse.
great, but
I,
Brian Wu
that's
is as
why
good as anybody.
that's why I picked him as a dark horse, like Cy Young candidate, is just because he's definitely the most athletic on the mound.
Yeah.
And I mean, the release characteristics, the life on his fastball, he's as unique as they come. He's definitely the most unique in that rotation, him and Bryce Miller. But it's really fun to watch him pitch, I think almost any other rotation, he'd get even more hype. I think people are starting to get really excited about him, but he's still underrated because he's buried in a rotation that is just absolutely loaded.
Before you move on to the Tyler Soderstrom glazing session, which I'm here for, by the way,
Yeah.
I want to shout out Brennan in our Discord talking about Brian Wu being an athlete. He was sending us clips in the Discord about Brian Wu playing some defense. And this guy can really field his position. And also, I think he was playing second base too at Cal Poly. This guy's a really, really good athlete. And it was funny, again, just speaking about the Discord one more time. Like, Brennan wasn't even in on our bet, but he was just a Mariners fan excited. So we were all talking about the play because there's one thing to make a wager on a game, but we're also celebrating the game while we're betting it. So that was a really fun time in the Discord. And again, it's just $10 to join for your first month. Link is in the episode description.
Yeah. Um, Soderstrom's dialed right now, dude. Like
Dialed. Oh my gosh.
it's crazy. He turned around 99 from Andres Munoz and shot it the other way, like backside rocket. He looks really good, man. That's why he was a breakout candidate for me. The swing looks really simple, really powerful. He's a big dude. He's consistently mashed through the minor leagues and was just trying to cut down on the whiff a little bit. And I think he found the way to do that. Him breaking out potentially would really elevate this A's team to a point where I mean that offense can play.
Absolutely. Let's move to Guardians versus Royals. Game 2 on Saturday. Royals win 4-3, but the Guardians struck first with Bo Naylor and Carlos Santana recording RBIs in the second and third. But Salvi got the run back for KC on an RBI single, but then Stephen Kwan hit his first home run of the year to push the score to 3-1 Guardians. But then Salvi came up again, grabbed another RBI single, and then Michael Garcia, can you finally break out this year? I've been calling for it for years. Homers in the seventh to tie it, but Bobby Witt Jr., hopefully the MVP, grabs an RBI go-ahead double in the second inning to take a 4-3 lead. Gavin Williams and Seth Lugo looked decent. Gavin looked a little bit better, allowing 2 runs in 5 innings, but the lack of strikeout stuff from Gavin Williams surprised me with how good his stuff is.
Yeah. Yeah, and Paul Sewald giving up 2 earned is not great because you need
Yeah.
that bullpen to always lock it down if the Guardians are going to continue to do what they did last year. But I thought it was a good start for Gavin, just something to build off of. The
Yeah.
fastball velocity was there, averaging 97 and a half, and they filled up the zone at a decent clip. But yeah, you'd like to see him miss some more bats. But overall, I mean, if he goes 5 innings, a 2-run ball with that bullpen, you imagine that that's going to be it results in a lot of wins for the Guardians usually.
The only reason I'm nitpicking is because of how much we believe in him, right?
Yeah.
I just want to see more from him because I know he has it in there.
Okay.
Game 3, Guardians win 6-2. Gabriel Arias, which is Jose Ramirez's replacement in this game, think, and correct me if I'm wrong, did I hear this wrong? Wrist injury, but he was actually available to hit in the game. Went down, I know, with some sort of injury.
Yeah, they said
Didn't,
like wrist sprain, but
yeah,
he's day to day.
yeah, and then it said he could possibly pinch hit. I was just confused, but it's good to see that he'll be back
Yeah.
soon. But Gabriel Arias scores the first run on a sac fly. Then Kyle Manzardo hit his second home run of the season already to give Cleveland a 3-0 lead. He'll be huge for this lineup. They need bats like him. Gabriel Arias, again, homers in the sixth inning. And then Stephen Kwan drove in a run on a force out. Daniel, oh man, Schneeman?
Schneeman.
Schneeman, got it. Got in on the fun with his first home run of the year. The Royals rallied late for 2 runs, but it wasn't quite enough. Shout out, friend of the program, one of the nicest players we've ever had the opportunity to speak to, and noted JB Merchant Joyer, Tanner Bybee, recovers from food poisoning.
Yep.
Don't make fun of Chipotle, he says,
He didn't even get a chance to get to the Chipotle. It wasn't the Chipotle.
and dominates over 5 2/3, only allowing 2 hits and no runs. Guardians win the series 2-1. You know how I said I was down on the Guardians going into the year? Watching them again, I'm like, why the fuck did I say that? It's the
Just
same.
one series,
What?
you're back
Yeah.
in.
I was just like, oh, could this be the year where they don't perform over expectations? And then watching them, I'm like, okay, the bullpen might take a step back. Like the starting pitching is still good. The offense is good enough. Like they're probably gonna win the
Juan's gonna
division.
hit 450.
Yeah, they're probably gonna
Um,
win the division.
Manzardo like swinging it well out of the gate is great to see, and him running into a homer. I mean, if he's hitting 25 bombs this year, you've got steady Eddie, Carlos Santana. Love that they added Nolan Jones and just kind of the power speed combination that he brings. This is a team that's still really fascinating, and locking up Bybee too. I love the vibes there. This is a good ball club.
Similarly to Aram giving me a mulligan for my pronunciation, I'm asking Guardians Nation. You know, I've been with you for the whole ride.
Will you take me back?
Will you take me back? I know that we had our issues in the offseason, but I'm asking you to take me back. And if you don't, I understand. I understand. I said some not so great things. But if you'll have me back, I would love to re enter guard ball. So I'm asking everybody in the YouTube comments below and all the people in our Discord who root for the Guardians, will you take me back? I'd love to be a member of guard ball. All right, let's go to Tigers versus Dodgers. Game two. Dodgers win 8-5 in 10 innings. Spoiler alert, Dodgers win every single day.
Yeah.
Dylan Dingler and Gleyber Torres start the scoring for the Tigers with home runs in the second and the third, but then the Dodgers just answer with two home runs of their own from Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Ever heard of him? Manny Margot comes up clutch with an RBI single to tie it at 3 in the ninth. Then Dylan Dingler hits a two-run triple in the 10th to give the Tigers a 5-3 lead, and we're thinking to ourselves, here comes the Dodgers' first loss of the season. Nope. Dodgers will not be denied. Conforto starts it with a ground rule double to drive in one. Then Will Smith singles to tie it. And then Mookie freaking Betts loses 20 pounds or whatever in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's
Doesn't
like
matter.
totally
Two
fine.
homers.
And hitting Jack's 3-run walk-off home run to win the game. Yamamoto, dog, struck out 10 over 5 innings. But shout out Jack Flaherty. Struck out 5 in 5 2/3 while allowing just 3 hits and 2 runs against a lineup that knows him well, going back to the team that he just left. I personally thought he was going to get shelled,
Yeah.
and he was good. I think that was a big start for Flaherty.
5 1/3 shutout before Freeman hit the 2-run shot. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a really solid outing. And if he's doing that for them, I mean, the Scooble Flaherty combination is going to be nice. But I mean, this is the crazy thing with the Dodgers. It's like even when you think you got them, they just kick into another gear late in the ball game, and they just don't get out. Like they just keep hitting, and especially Mookie. But it's just so cool to see Mookie swinging it that way, given all of the issues that he was dealing with, not being able to keep food down. Like he has to be feeling like hell, and to still be doing this, like he's the guy that's just annoyingly good at everything, and this is just another example. This guy can be legitimately ill and lose 20 plus pounds and still go multi-homer with a walk-off bomb essentially. Like it's just crazy.
But Arm, I thought that if you don't have top end bat speed, you can't
Yeah.
hit. That's what I was told.
Yeah, his bat speed's too low, so it's especially post whatever this is that he has. I don't even know if his bat speed went down even further. Doesn't matter. Hits it in the air, hits it hard enough. It's going to hit a lot of homers.
Dodgers win game three on Saturday, 7-3. Tigers came out hot, though, putting up 2 runs on RBIs from Manny Margot, who just keeps hitting, and Trey Sweetie. But then Freddie Freeman is like, you remember me? Homers again. And then Michael Conforto hits another RBI double to tie the game at 2. And then Teoscar's 2-run double gives the Dodgers a 2-run lead in the 5th. And then Will Smith homered in the 6th for a 5-2 lead. Now, Zach McKinstry is like, we may be losing, but I ain't done yet. Answers with an RBI single. But then Tommy Edman was like, yep, you are done. Hits a home run. And then Freddie Freeman, another RBI double. Just too much to overcome. But I think the biggest takeaway from this entire series, Roki Sasaki exited after 1 2/3, 4 walks and 2 runs allowed. Not good, Aram. Not good at all.
Fastball averaged 96.3 in this one. I mean, with his shape, if he's not sitting 98, he's in trouble. I hope he's not hurt. I really do. I just don't know if he is feeling right and dealing with the shoulder stuff that he dealt with last year, the velo being down, the command being affected. I just wonder if something's up there. And I don't like speculating on that stuff, but when you know what he's previously been able to throw at velocity wise, and he was down a tick last year, and now he's down another tick. Him at 96 is healthy or not is not going to be nearly as successful of a pitcher, and it's going to be quite one dimensional. So I'm very interested to see how they handle things. If they skip him maybe a time in the rotation to try to just get him back to feeling how he needs to feel, but they kind of need him to throw innings too. So it's going to be really interesting. And I think Dodgers, like the Dodgers brass, are going to be looking very closely at the next bullpen he throws and his next start, just to see how things are going. But something just seems a little off.
This is pure speculation, and I wanted to run it by you. Do you think that he's having trouble with the pitch clock? Because in Tokyo against the Cubs, the guy was huffing and puffing on the mound. I mean, this is a 23-year-old athlete. Like, he should not be as tired as he was. And then it looks like he's sweating. It looks like he's so tired out there, only through 1 2/3. That was my original thought. I was like, if he's not hurt, maybe it's a fatigue thing and he's not used to the pace of Major League Baseball, and that's the biggest issue. But again, that's just pure speculation for me, just watching and trying to come up with reasons that beyond injury that he could be struggling right now.
Well, I did write about it in the scouting report on him was he did work very slow in Japan. So like it was an adjustment, but you just figured like he's a great athlete. He's
Yeah.
23. It shouldn't be much of an issue. I don't think it's helping. And I do think it's just also like when he's struggling, I think it's compounding those issues where it's like, okay, I'm struggling and I got to work quicker than I'm used to working. Like that's tough. So I don't think it's helping, but it's just weird to see him throwing at this velocity where like he didn't throw a single pitch above 97.1 miles per hour. That
That's,
tells me like I
yeah.
do think the clock isn't helping and it's compounding the issues, but you'd think he'd rip a fastball 98, 99.
To
Something
start the
doesn't seem
to
right
start the
physically.
game too.
Yeah, something doesn't seem right.
Because like the pitch clock ain't affecting pitch one,
No.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Th-
exactly.
So that's why I was like, I don't think this is the reason, but
It's not helping,
I
but
noticed a weird fatigue thing with him. And I was like, what could it be? Could it be the pitch clock? I don't know. That's why I wanted to ask.
yeah, I mean, I've seen starts when he was in Japan where his 122nd pitch of the game is 99 100.
Mm.
So, this is different. This is weird.
All right, we got 1 2 3 4 5 series left, but before that, our last break. Boston Red Sox versus Texas Rangers. Arm, I thought to myself, is this an ALCS preview?
Mm.
Let's talk about it. Game 2 on Friday, the Rangers win 4-1. Jonah Heim started the scoring with a home run in the third. Willie Abreu ties it up with an RBI single in the fourth. If Willie Abreu wasn't in this Red Sox lineup in this series, they might have just gotten blanked the entire time. Jonah Heim homered again to take a 2-1 lead, and Jake Berger, Josh Young, they had insurance RBIs to give the Rangers the win. How about your boy Jack Leiter looking good? 5 innings, 1 earned, 4 Ks. I didn't want to go through every single game and then talk about Jack Leiter at the end. I want to throw it to you, Jack Leiter, right
Yeah.
now. What's up?
Shout out Jack. Like I'm just happy for him because look, as we've talked about it, of course I'm biased here, but he is so freaking talented. Obviously, we see him touching 101 and he works his ass off and has a great head on his shoulders. I'm gonna bet on players like that any day of the week. And people are so quick to go with the bust label or this or that or whatever. I look, there was points where it was like, okay, he's gonna need to adjust and find things, and he has. Like his stuff looks different, his delivery is much more repeatable. But when you pair talent with work ethic and the mentality that this guy has, I'm gonna bet on that guy figuring it out. And look, it's just one start, but I think getting that win, I think Boch even talks about it. Getting that win was kind of a weight off of his shoulders, and I think he's gonna have a really nice year. And I'm just really pumped for him because I mean, Lord knows he has worked his ass off to get to this point through the ups and downs that he's had, through at the upper levels, and a tough big league debut last year.
Absolutely. And the Rangers continued that momentum into game 3 on Saturday, winning another one 4-3. Adolis Garcia opens the scoring with a 2-run double that Christian Campbell nearly caught on a diving play. I couldn't even believe he almost got there. Rafael Devers walked with the bases loaded to score one. Then in the fourth, Christian Campbell hits his first home run of his
Torched it.
torched it. First home run of his career, line drive screamer. And then Adolis Garcia hit his 123rd home run of his career to give the Rangers a 3-2 lead in the fourth. Both teams trade RBI singles with Semien in the fifth and Carlos Narvaez for the Red Sox in the eighth. Overall, Walker Buehler, our guy, struggled a little bit, but Tyler Mahle didn't even make it out of the second inning.
Yeah,
That
four
is not
walks.
good. Buehler, like, tough first start. I think he'll be fine. But Mahle, I'm looking at and I'm be like, oh no, not a good
Yeah.
start to the season for a guy that the Rangers need.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. When walks off, like he's still going to get you through innings and get you to the fifth, like even when he doesn't have it. But yeah, I mean, Maui, they need more out of him than that. Shout out Christian Campbell. Like
Yeah.
if he's swinging it like this and he gets after this start, like that's really huge for this lineup, especially because we'll talk about it, but Devers being as brutal as he has been out of the gate. I mean, Campbell, he's capitalizing. They keep throwing him fastballs over the middle and away, and he's not missing them. He's hammering them, and you can make a living off of that. So I think you got to be really pumped to see that if you're a Red Sox fan. And meanwhile, Roman Anthony homered twice in AAA. So like, we don't have room for all these guys, especially with the way that Willier has started. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, so 4-3 win for the Rangers. They win this game with their starter not making it through 2 innings. That has to make you feel really good about a bullpen that we've also said is suspect. They held it down. Like they pitched the entire game and held it down. I think you got to feel encouraged about that. And Chris Martin has been great out of like so far. I think it's his last year. He said it is. He's emptying the tank. Hopefully he can empty it all year. But another clean ninth inning for Chris Martin.
Rangers fans are like, ooh, nice young prospects, Red Sox. We have Jacob DeGrom, which brings us to our game 4 Sunday game where the Rangers win again 3-2. Ezekiel Duran started the scoring with a sac fly in the second. Wilyer Abreu again ties it with an RBI double. And then Connor Wong reached on a throwing error by Duran at third, which scored Abreu. Wyatt Langford hit his first home run of the year to tie it in the sixth. And then Adolis Garcia, another bomb, go-ahead home run to seal it. The return of Jacob DeGrom. 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 6 strikeouts. The changeup was outrageous. The fastball is not going to be 101, 102 sometimes like we're used to. It's 97 to 98 miles an hour. But what I was most impressed with Jacob DeGrom in his debut, the command was impeccable
Mm-hmm.
wherever he wanted it.
That's him, baby.
You just have these elite pitches with elite command, and Jacob DeGrom is back. I think every baseball fan, even if you're a fan of the Astros and the Mariners, you're the Texas Rangers rival, you can't tell me you weren't watching that DeGrom start and saying, baseball's better when he is back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's just so he is aesthetically pleasing to watch pitch when he's dotting that stuff the way that he does and the way he just spins the ball out of his hand. I mean, it's so much fun to watch. And he's can really elevate this team, clearly. I think you got to be thrilled with that first outing and having those 5 shutout innings where, like you said, he's filling up the zone. And once again, bullpen, for the most part, does their job. Yeah, you give up 2 runs, only one of them earned, with the first guy out of the pen and Armstrong. But Garcia to Martin to Jackson, you get 3 scoreless and hold it down. You got to be encouraged because this is a bullpen that we're wondering about. If the bullpen outperforms what we're expecting, feel a lot better about the Rangers.
Also, shout out Dickie Fitz.
Yeah.
Richard Fitz, a.k.a. Dick Fitz. 6 innings, 3 earned 4Ks. Solid pitcher in the Red Sox rotation moving forward as they get guys back from injury, whether that be Brian Bayo or Cutter Crawford or Lucas Giolito. But let's talk about the Ofer. Rafael Devers, 0 for 16. But can we also include that Tristan Casas went 1 for 16? They both combined to go 1 for 32. But the thing is, why people aren't really including Tristan Casas is that Devers did not look like Rafael Devers. Like if you took the name off the jersey, I would have expected them to be trying out some double-A guy.
Yeah.
When he's running out of the box, I saw some Ichiro type movements from him. He looked completely overmatched. This looked nothing like the Rafael Devers that we're used to. It's one thing to just have a tough streak. Maybe you're hitting a couple balls hard, but nothing's landing. It's okay. He didn't even look like he looked like he was swinging with his eyes closed.
Yeah, and I know people will say like, "Oh, well, like they need to let the guy get in the field again. That's what's affecting him." Like, I wonder if how much of it is him kind of making it a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where it's like, "Oh, I'm better when I'm in the field." So you're going into games with that mentality, like Come on, you're a pro. Like you're a $300 million bat. That can't be the reason why. Maybe it's just a slow start. But if that does become the discourse, I think that would be a little bit silly. Like I understand that it can be challenging to make that adjustment at points, but I don't know. I just like he should be capable, and maybe it is just a rough start. Maybe he doesn't see the ball well in that stadium. It is a little bit of a different viewpoint. But I mean, it is shocking to see him struggle this much out of the gate, and it's just not great when you have all of the theatrics and the story lines around the DH situation that he starts off. Look, if he started off bad, it's one thing, but like you said, it's lost out
Yeah,
there right now. So that's not what you want to see.
exactly. Like with Costas, I'm like, 1 for 16. Like he'll be fine. Devers, I was like, oh no. I mean, I'm pretty confident Devers is going to be fine.
Yeah, of
Like
course,
he'll
just
get
not
over
the way you
one
want to
bad
start.
series. It's the first couple of games of the year. Um,
And he
but
swung it well in Globe Life in the past. That's the weird
yeah,
part. So yeah, we'll see. But definitely, probably you could argue probably as bad of a stretch as he's had in his entire career. And I know it's only been 3 games, but like I've never really seen him struggle this badly. But I'm sure again he'll be fine. It's just with all of the narrative and all of that, just doesn't help.
also, this is a Marlins podcast now. Let's talk about Pirates versus Marlins. Pirates win 4-3 game 2 on Friday. They started the scoring with an RBI double from Andrew McCutchen and an Adam Frazier sac fly, gave the Pirates a 2-0 lead. O'Neal Cruz hit a 2-run, 115-mile-an-hour missile to give the Pirates a 4-0 lead in the fifth. Graham Pauley's RBI double and Otto Lopez's home run was too little, too late. Mitch Keller really was excellent. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. I posted on Twitter, oh man, it might be an all time miss that I didn't include O'Neal Cruz in my top 100. And you were like, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, like look, there's going to be stretches where you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I should have had him on my top 100." And then there's going to be stretches where it's like, "Oh, thank goodness I didn't put him
And
on
he's
there."
misplaying
And then
balls
they're
in
going to even
center.
out to a 780 OPS, and that's
Yeah.
what it's going to be. It's the flashiest 780 OPS. They benched him. We'll talk about that game like on Sunday because I think of just the way he was playing. Like defensively was ridiculously bad. It just didn't seem very locked in at times. But then he hits a ball 115, so it's like
Yeah.
it is a wild roller coaster there. But the Marlins fighting too. Like Otto Lopez has been dialed, and
Dialed.
he almost brought them back into the game. He has been unreal. But I mean, this was one where it should have been a Ryan Weather start. He's out, so you get Connor Gillespie. He was okay, but kind of hit a wall there. And I mean, the Marlins went from Connor Gillespie to Tyler Phillips to Anthony Veneziano. Probably not going to win that game, and I'll give credit. Like Phillips won 3 shutout, and Veneziano pitched a scoreless inning. The offense just couldn't quite climb back in it. Theme of this series, and we're going to talk about it. Like Bednar got the save there, like despite actively trying to not get the save, and
Yes.
he has been horrible. And like
Horrible.
they need to move this man out of the closer role like immediately if they want to win. If
Immediately.
they want to not start with their season effectively like over through the first few weeks. 'Cause any lead that they have, he's gonna blow it. He looks unusable right now.
Speaking of walk-offs, game 3 on Saturday, Marlins win 5-4. Now Jack Swinsky opened up the scoring for the Pirates with an RBI double, but then Xavier Edwards ties it up for Miami with a sac fly. Joey Bart and Derek Hill, they're trading RBI hits, knotted at 2 after 6. Again, they trade runs in the 7th. Pirates score on an error by Nick Fortes, and then the Marlins score on an Otto Lopez RBI single. I think Yankee fans and Marlins fans are going to be arguing who's the second best second baseman in the game. Is it Jazz Chisholm? Or is it Otto Lopez?
Lopez.
We go to extras. No runs in the 10th, but Adam Frazier punches home Brian Hayes to take a 4-3 lead. But then those fighting fish, as my guy Jack McMarlin likes to say, ties it up with an infield hit, and then Dane Myers walk-off single to win it. Both Bailey Falter and Vicente Beoza were fine. Falter looked pretty good.
Valente Beozo.
What did I say?
Vicente.
Oh, I wrote it down, Vicente.
It's
That's
okay.
just me
It's
reading my notes. I know it's
uh
Valente Beoza, but again, didn't cash. Didn't cash.
to cash.
Didn't cash.
8th inning, 3-3 game. Griffin Conine just enters the game. And Jack Sawinski goes backside for what would have been a homer. And I mean, dude, that was the nastiest catch. I'm biased, obviously, but that was a disgusting grab by Griffin to rob the home run. I've never really seen him that expressive. That was pretty cool to see
Yeah.
too. Like he was feeling himself. Um, that was a fucking unbelievable grab. I've seen it everywhere. He was number two on Sports Center top 10. He finished just behind a softball triple play, like triple play. We were just
Triple
talking
play.
about it like 2 hours ago. He's like, yeah, that play was pretty nasty. I'll tip my cap. But number two on Sports Center top 10. Never thought I'd see him there. That catch was electric, and I think it's why they won that game. So that was pretty cool. He had a chance to walk it off after that too. 107.5 mile per hour line out right at a guy. But the Marlins end up walking it off anyways. And yeah, it's been just this feeling of youthful energy where like they're playing with nothing to lose, and it's cool to see that. And again, Otto Lopez, dude, like he's dialed.
Game 4 on Sunday was probably the greatest game in just baseball lore history.
Oh my gosh, it was special.
Marlins win 3-2. Jeff Conine Hall of Fame ceremony.
That was cool.
I'll go through just the
That's
notes
why
real
I'm still
quick,
in this outfit. I'm straight from the game. Like I came straight from the game.
and I'll throw it over to you. So McCutchen homers to start the game. Nick Fortes RBI double, even the scores at 1. IKF gives the Pirates the lead on an RBI single, and then Griffin fucking Conine, first homer of the year, ties it at 2 in the 7th. And David Bednar's wild pitch in the bottom of the ninth gives the Marlins the win. Marlins win 3 of 4. The day Jeff Conine is made a Miami Marlins Hall of Famer, his son, your best friend from home, homers, and they win, and Jack calls the walk-off. How do you write things like this?
You can't, dude. It was crazy because I mean, we're so we were standing like Jeff and I were talking while Griff was up watching on the TV screen so we could actually see the pitches and everything. But it's a little delayed. So you can hear the sounds where like I could hear a glove sound versus a bat sound. So then I know right before. And I heard like two glove sounds, which was the swing and miss on the splitters, which are disgusting from Holderman, by the way. And then I was like, okay, well, and I know if I hear a crack, it means he didn't strike out at least. But I was talking to Jeff about like swings. We were talking about like just swing mechanics and things like that. I think we were almost trying to distract ourselves in case he strikes out. And then you just hear crack. And I'm like, well, that's got to be a decent noise. And then you hear the crowd start to cheer, and then boom, right on the screen, I see the backside bomb. So we take two big steps over, and I see Griff's bat flying over, and him already just like fired up. And he's again not a guy that likes to. I know he thinks it's kind of eyewash to like yell after a home run unless it's like a walk off or whatever, but he said it just came out, understandably so. He watched his dad just be the inaugural Hall of Fame like inductee, and the Marlins did a fantastic job with that. And like I've never seen Jeff really choke up ever. And just he was choked up in his speech, and Griff was like choked up. It was really cool. And then in that moment with everybody there to go deep, and it wasn't just like, oh, he homered. It's nice. That was it was a game tying homer. And off of Colin Holderman, their best reliever, it was ridiculously special. And I mean, I'm just honored that the Conines, allowed me to be a part of that. And man, that was really damn cool. And then to be able to go right after that and pick up my phone and listen to Jack's call of it is just so damn cool. So that was really special, and I'm just so happy for the Conine family. Obviously, I mean, we know how hard Griff worked to get there, but like this is something he's earned and he's doing. But then to have that moment too for Jeff also, like I know he's thrilled to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, but that's where he started to get choked up was like being able to see my son in the jersey that I wore technically, but like for the team that I played for, like it's there's nothing that can really put words to it. And then that game, yeah, man, that was I don't know if that'll ever be beat. That was really really special. Baseball's the best, dude.
How can you not be romantic about baseball? All right, let's go to Twins versus Cardinals. A couple series left. This is again a good series where the Cardinals put belt to ass. As a Twins believer, I'm laying in urine right now while you're celebrating at the top of a mountain for your Cardinals. Game 2 on Saturday, Cardinals win 5-1. Arenado opened the scoring with an RBI single. Willie Castro ties it up with an RBI double in the second. Scoreless until the sixth, where Ivan Herrera and Lars Nootbaar drove in 3 runs to make the score 4-1 Cardinals. Then Brendan Donovan added a sac fly in for more insurance. Joe Ryan was good. Eric Fedde was better. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 2 Ks, 0 walks. And I'm watching these games, Aram, and I'm thinking to myself, this pretty much is the Twins healthy, right? They're not hurt right now.
Just Royce Lewis, but like he's always hurt.
Yeah.
So
There's just one guy who's hurt. It's basically the whole lineup, and they ain't hitting shit. Game 3,
wait,
Cardinals win.
sorry, real quick.
Yeah, go
Mickey
ahead.
Gasper DH'd. Okay, you can continue now.
Yeah. Game 3, Sunday, Cardinals win 9-2. Byron Buxton started the scoring with an RBI single, but it was short-lived as Victor Scott hit his first home run of the year, a
He looks
3-run
good.
shot in the second. He is good.
He looks
Car-
good.
Cardinals blow it open in the third, 2-run double from Alec Burleson, and then a 3-run home run from Pedro Pajes. Willie Castro and Nolan Gorman also hit home runs in this game, both their first of the year. And Bailey Ober kind of gave you his once every 2 month horrific start. Go look at Bailey Ober's game logs if you're not a Minnesota Twins fan. It is 2 innings, 10 earned, and then 4 6 inning shutouts in a row, and then 3 innings, 9 earned, but he just did it early. 8 earned in 2 2/3, so he's not a guy that I'm really worried about. Basically, if the changeup ain't landing, and it normally does, he gets demolished. Andre
Yeah.
Palante was really solid, allowing 2 runs in 5 innings. Cardinals sweep. My only takeaway here is Twins are healthy and not playing well. But then I also remember that it's like the Twins, when they're hot, they could beat the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I mean,
they can win
they
15 in
go
a row, right? But
they
when they're
go
cold,
crazy. And then when they're cold, they would lose to their AAA.
yeah.
I don't know who's the AAA team.
St. Paul Saints are giving them some work.
St. Paul Saints would blow them out. I mean, they're the most hot and cold team, and the Cardinals looked good, just like you said they would.
The Palante to Steven Matz line handoff is crazy, like absolutely crazy, but it worked. Matt's going 4 shutty out of the pen is crazy. But I mean, look, they can swing it. There's a lot of guys in this lineup that are pretty decent bats, and I love seeing Victor Scott with his swing adjustments looking like they're working for him. You got to love the start for the Cardinals.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to Giants versus Reds. Another good series, and I was there for opening day. Everybody listening, I don't know if you saw my TikTok that I made about a bucket list item. That place is awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. I didn't even realize fully when I was going there.
I said the same thing.
Ohio and Kentucky are shut down completely. I mean, everybody is there. The restaurants were great. We were on foul territory. They were super nice. The restaurants there, the BetMGM Sportsbook right across the street. Then you go into the stadium. It's packed. Fans are excited. Skyline chili, not great, but that's just a me
But you can
personal thing.
pretend for the day.
I couldn't even really pretend. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a liar. I'll tell the people honestly. I'm not a Skyline Chili guy, but I am a baseball card guy. And in Great American Ballpark, they have this great card shop called Hit Seekers. I saw a Rhett Lauder auto that I was trying to buy, but Christian Encarnacion Strand did not hit the home run, so unfortunately we did not buy the Rhett Lauder auto. But I was actually thinking, I was like, if CES hits this home run, I'm buying this auto, and he did not. But definitely going to Great American Ballpark for a Reds opening day should be on every baseball fan's bucket list. All right, let's talk about Saturday though. The Reds win 3-2. Wilmer Flores, who hit the basically game-winning home run for the Giants on opening day, opened the scoring with his second home run of the year to
I'm
give the
shocked.
Giants a 1-0 lead. Then Jung-Hoo Lee drove in a run in the third with a single to make the lead 2-0. Matt McLean answered, though, with his first home run of the year. So great to see him back and swinging it. And then Ellie De La Cruz drove in a run with an RBI single in the fifth to tie it. CES start the home run counter, 30 plus. Plus 400 on BetMGM, first home run of the year in the sixth, and that was the difference. Both Verlander and Lodolo look solid, but similar to Gavin Williams, Lodolo only struck out 1 in 6 innings.
Yeah.
He only allowed 2 runs, though. It was a good start. It's just you expect a guy like that to miss more bats.
Yeah, he wasn't putting guys away. He was like getting to 2 strikes and then he just couldn't put them away, which was interesting. But getting ahead, usually going to pay dividends, especially when you can get a lot of ground balls, and that's exactly what he did. So in one way, it was encouraging. It's like, okay, Lodolo can give you a quality start without missing a lot of bats, but on the other side, it's like, okay, but we probably need him to miss more bats. I got to be thrilled if I'm a Giants fan from what Justin Verlander turned in. Home runs were the biggest issue for him last year, and he goes to Great American Ballpark and only allows 2 earned over 5. I mean, that's huge. I think you got to be really happy about that. Fastball sat 94 too. I thought he looked really good.
But the Giants win game 3 in the rubber match, 6-3. The scoring didn't start until the 5th, where Heliot Ramos hit his second home run of the year. More scoring in the 6th. Jung-Hoo Lee drives in a run on a double. Then Matt Chapman hits a 2-run home run for his first of the year. Excuse me. Reds battle with home runs from Austin Wynns and Matt McClain to bring the score to 4-3. Willie Adames and Heliot Ramos add insurance with a sac fly and an RBI single. Robbie Ray looked awesome through 5 perfect innings before giving up 3 runs in the 6th, and Martinez completed 6. That's Nick Martinez for the Reds, but allowed 4 runs on 4 hits. Basically, I'm bringing that up to say that Robbie Ray looked a lot better than his box score would say, as did Nick Martinez. Like, these were 2 really good outings, but the box score wouldn't tell you that they are.
Yeah, I mean Ray was dominant out of the gate, and then that's what happens though at Great American Ballpark. Couple swings can totally shift things. Martinez gave up 2 home runs, and Ray gave up 2 home runs, and it can kind of just totally flip the script pretty quickly here. But I thought both teams played pretty well through the series, and I think there was a lot of positive takeaways from both clubs. But seeing Jung-Hoo Lee pick up a pair of hits and driving a run, I'm excited to see, including a double. I'm excited to see what a healthy season from Jung-Hoo Lee can look like, because we didn't even really get to see him have a chance to settle in last year before getting hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to our last series. And unfortunately, we will not be breaking down Sunday Night Baseball because we are recording during Sunday Night Baseball. But I can tell you about Game 2 and Game 3 when it comes to
I
the
think it's
Braves
over.
versus the Padres. Oh, is it over?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll read through the box score.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
we'll pseudo recap it.
we'll stat lines report because I had so much fun watching baseball these past few days. I felt like I was watching every single game on the slate again. It was so much fun. Just had to miss Sunday Night Baseball to record this show. Game 2 Friday, Padres win 4-3. Tatis opened the scoring with his first home run of the year. That's why I ranked Fernando Tatis Jr. high.
Oh yeah,
This guy.
I already take it back. You use your mulligan. I'm using my Tatis mulligan. That was stupid as shit. I don't know what I was saying. Somebody possessed me. He
Deal.
got rid of the leg kick, and he's going to this like early bring the leg over, kind of like gets to his position and just sits there. Who does that? Like any other hitter is just going to drift forward from there or leak out or get stiff. He just gets to his spot early now and sits there and just waits for the ball. He must feel like he has all day. And looks like that change has really made hitting easier for him.
Stealing bases too. I mean,
Yeah.
and how about Martin Maldonado?
I mean,
RBI single to make it 2-0 Padres.
that's shocking. 2 hits.
Marcell Ozuna ties it up with a 2-run single in the 3rd, and then they keep trading runs. Bogarts gets an RBI double. Jared Kelenic hits his first home run of the year. But in the 8th, Jake Cronenworth, clutch home run to take the lead, and that was it. In terms of the starters, I thought both Reynaldo Lopez and Dylan Cease looked shaky. It was one of those classic Dylan Cease starts where he didn't quite have it, and Reynaldo Lopez just didn't look good. I hate to simplify it like that, but that's what it was. It was 9 hits. It was not great. It didn't look like the same Reynaldo Lopez that we saw last year. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about Game 3 real quick. Padres win 1-0. Yuli Gurriel provided the lone run of the game with an RBI single in the 7th. Spencer Schwellenbach was so good. Only allowed 1 hit in 6 innings while striking out 4. But Randy Vasquez was nearly as dominant, allowing 4 hits, striking out 3 over 6 shutout innings. Shout out Randy Vasquez.
That's huge.
My takeaways from this series is I thought the Braves offense was good. It looked terrible. It looked like a bunch of Rafael Devers.
Respect these Padres arms, baby.
Yeah.
Drake Baldwin had the most unlucky
I saw that.
few games I've ever seen. And there's nothing to be taken from small samples like this, except for this. I actually think you can take something from this just to illustrate how unlucky he is. 131 WOBA through the first 3 games, 436 ex WOBA. Like, because he's hitting rockets that like hit the pitcher and then kick straight to first base. You're out. It's like MLB The Show, like rage bait stuff. Like, I've never seen anything like it. He'll settle in, but like, just wanted to shout out Drake Baldwin. Like, stay the course, King. You're gonna be okay. But baseball sucks sometimes. Like it really does. And that's a perfect example. But yeah, Braves bats slow out of the gate. But I do think a part of that is a testament to the Padres. Like they got quality starts from their guys, and then that bullpen's going to shut it down. And that bullpen's been holding up their end of the bargain for the most part. But um, yeah, seeing the guys filling in the back end of that lineup to do what they need to do is great. And I mean, Machado looks rejuvenated and looks good, and I think that's a huge part of this thing as well. But yeah, I mean that's going to be the main thing to follow, I think. And then as we went final in the other game, like 5-zip, like
Nick
no
Pavetta dominated.
dominance. And
Seven
and if you're
innings,
getting
one hit, four Ks.
seven shutty, one hit, no walks, or 4 Ks, and only 82 pitches. But if you get 6-7 innings from your starters, okay, just hand it to Jason Adam and Jeremiah Estrada. Estrada struck out the side, scoreless inning from Adam. Braves didn't have a chance, like didn't have a shot. Just ridiculous stuff. Padres might just be able to piece together this pitching.
I'm worried that me being low on the Padres is going to end up biting me in the ass.
It might.
This team looked. I mean, I am
It's
making fun
one
of the
series,
Braves.
but
It's
it
one
might.
series, but the Braves offense did look really bad, so there's not a ton to take away, but I can see the vision with San Diego is basically what I'm saying here.
One
Is that
hit.
is that it might be top heavy, their lineup, but holy shit, if Tatis is a superstar mega MVP and Machado is the man and they continue to hit in the top, like that's fine. All you need is a hit here or there from the bottom, like a Martin Maldonado RBI single or something like that. And then if the
Gavin Sheets.
pitchers, Gavin
Gavin Sheets
Sheets,
is torching balls.
the Padres are a good ass team. But that'll do it for the weekend roundup. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed on this Monday. Again, every Monday here on the Just Baseball Show, we'll go over every game from the weekend that was. A couple quick reminders. Make sure to join the Discord if you want to. The link is in the episode description. Rate and review Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe on YouTube, comment, like, all that good stuff. Arm, before we say everyone have a good week, you got anything to leave us with?
Orlando Arcia was the only Brave with a hit on Sunday Night Baseball. That you're not going to win a lot of games that way.
And with that, thank you, everybody.